And welcome to another edition of the weekly Sunday school lesson. Today's lesson is entitled Jesus, Joseph, and Jonah. And it's for December the 29th, 2024. Now, let me just clearly state that this lesson is taken from the lesson plan developed by the Radiant Life Adult Sunday School series published by the Assemblies of God. You can order your copy of their Sunday School book, which I do recommend, at by calling 855-642-2011. And again, I am not a member of their staff, nor am I being compensated for that endorsement. Micah 5:1-2. Now muster your troops, O daughter of troops. Siege is laid against us. With a rod they strike the judge of Israel on the cheek. But you, O Bethlehem Ephrathah, who are too little to be among the clans of Judah, from you shall come forth for me one who is to be ruler in Israel, whose coming forth is from of old, from ancient days. Now, Bethlehem is the hometown of King David. It was commonly understood that the Messiah would come from the line of David. This prophecy of Micah is twofold. One aspect of the prophecy is talking about the time of King Zedekiah, who ruled from 597 to 586 BC. Another aspect of this prophecy is pointing to the Messiah, and it was commonly quoted to indicate the birthplace of the Messiah. Matthew 2:1-4. Now, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we saw his star when it rose, and have come to worship him. When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And assembling all of the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. 5-8. And behold, and told him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for it is so it is written by the prophet, and you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For from you shall come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel. Then Herod summoned the wise men secretly and ascertained from them what time the star had appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, Go and search diligently for the child. And when you have found him, bring me word that I too may come and worship him. 9-12. Now, after listening to the king, they went on their way. And behold, the star that they had seen when it rose went before them until it came to rest over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. And going into the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother. And they fell down and worshipped him. Then, opening their treasures, they offered him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed to their own country by another way. Now, the Bible does not give the number or the names of the wise men. We know they came from a foreign land. We know they were officials of their home country. We know they saw some sign that indicated that the King of the Jews was born and where he was. Those are the things we know from the text. Hosea 11:1. When Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son. This is another prophecy that has two aspects. One aspect is the deliverance of the Jews from Egypt during the time of Moses. Another aspect is a prophecy of Joseph taking his young family to Egypt to escape the evil Herod. Matthew 2:13 through 15. Now, when they had departed, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, Rise, take the child and his mother and flee to Egypt, and remain there until I tell you, for Herod is about to search for the child to destroy him. And he arose and took the child and his mother by night and departed to Egypt, and remained there until the death of Herod. This was to fulfill what the Lord had spoken by the prophet, Out of Egypt I called my son. We should all contemplate this image of the young Jesus escaping the evil ruler by fleeing to a foreign country. We should see his face in the children that have fled one country to another because of violence or famine. Jonah 1:17. And the Lord appointed a great fish to swallow up Jonah. And Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. 1 through 5. Then Jonah prayed to the Lord his God from the belly of the fish, saying, I called out to the Lord out of my distress, and he answered me. Out of the belly of Sheol I cried, and you heard my voice. For you cast me into the deep, into the heart of the seas, and the floods surrounded me. All your waves and your billows passed over me. Then I said, I am driven away from your sight, yet I shall again look upon your holy temple. The waters closed in over me to take my life. The deep surrounded me. Weeds were wrapped about my head. 6 through 10. At the roots of the mountain, I went down to the land whose bars closed upon me forever. Yet you brought me up my life from the pit. O Lord my God, when my life was fainting away, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer came to you into your holy temple. Those who pay regard to vain idols forsake their hope of steadfast love. But I, with the voice of thanksgiving, will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed I will pay. Salvation belongs to the Lord. And the Lord spoke to the fish, and it vomited Jonah out upon the dry land. God called Jonah to preach to the Ninevites. Jonah refused and fled. Now, he was not a coward or bashful about God. He knew what the Ninevites would eventually do to his people. He wanted the Ninevites destroyed. That was not God's plan. God directed the fish to swallow Jonah, and he had a change of heart in the belly of that fish. Well, actually, he had somewhat of a change of heart. He did go and preach to the people of Nineveh, but he was mad when they actually repented. But friends, that's a different lesson. The important point here is that Jonah was 3 days in the belly of the fish. Matthew 12:38 through 41. Then some of the scribes and Pharisees answered him, saying, Teacher, we wish to see a sign from you. But he answered them, An evil and adulterous generation seeks for a sign, but no sign will be given to it except the sign of the prophet Jonah. For just as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the great fish, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. The men of Nineveh will rise up at the judgment with this generation and condemn it. For they repented at the preaching of Jonah, and behold, something greater than Jonah is here. Jesus lets everyone know that he would be in the grave 3 days at this moment. Well, friends, I want to thank you for spending a little bit of time with us. If you want to get in touch with me, you can call me on my cell phone, 423-355-3859. You can contact me by email, donniebrasson@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, www.gospelmailbox.org. Well, friends, good Lord willing, I'll be back with you next weekend.